Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers. It's a beautiful Thursday, and I'm your host. I am Daniel Greer. And if you're not watching the show, I promise you're already behind. We have a jam-packed show today, as we always do during the week. We're going to get into a little bit of what's the word, what we're talking about, what's happening in the world of sports right now. And then, as always, we're going to give you our plays. We cashed yesterday. We're going to cash today. And then the last thing we have is our Daily Dinger segment, where it's all about who's going to go long, who's going to hit it out into orbit. And yesterday, we don't have him on the show again today, but we do have our guy Mark that went back to back, and he'll probably have his guy who he likes to go long today. He'll put that in the chat for you, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But me and Robby are going to give you our guys who we think go deep today. And speaking of that gentleman, he is here on the show. What's up, Robby?
Hey, DG, how are you doing today, my friend?
Man, I can't complain. It's been a day. I know it's been a day for you as well. But you know what? Always good. It is a little bit of it's a draft Thursday. It's kind of a little quiet around football, but football's just kind of poking its head back in, trying to stay relevant. But as we always do to start the show, Robby, what's the word?
Yeah, well, let's lead into that. The word is the draft. That's what I'm looking at tonight. I'm looking at the Dallas Cowboys to see how we could potentially screw it up again, because that's what we okay, we do decent at the draft, but I need Dallas to realize that free agency is a thing and you can participate and sign players in free agency. Because drafting hasn't been bad. As the jersey I'm wearing, CD Lamb was a pretty solid pick. Michael Parsons, pretty solid pick. They draft offensive linemen fairly well, but it's just like, come on, guys, you got to do free agency as well. You can't just do the draft. But I live in Tennessee, as do you, so I'm sure you're tired of hearing the Cam Ward talk on any local sports radio stations as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and I'm not completely sold on Cam Ward, but as the Titans, like, they have to go get a quarterback at this point. If it was
new stadium, new face,
right? Like you, I would do the same thing, because you have to make that decision. The only other way around it is if you take somebody really good at the top, or if you were to make a trade and fall down. But in the instance, like, you were able to grab a quarterback. Let's just use our Cowboys, for example. Let's say the Cowboys were sold on a player and wanted to go get him at number one. Let's say it is Cam Ward. But, like, they would say, hey, we'll trade you Dak Prescott and a future fifth for getting that number one pick, whatever it might be. And the Titans are like, all right, cool. We'll take that. We'll do a pick swap. That could happen. That makes sense to me. But I'm not doing that if I'm not bringing in some kind of quarterback. I have to have something.
Yeah.
I think the Titans getting that. It's okay.
Well, the big loser is New England. Imagine if you don't win that meaningless game against Buffalo at the end of the year. You would be the number one pick, and there would be a ton of teams probably offering you to trade back, especially since they probably don't need a quarterback anyway with Drake May. They're probably going to give him another year to see what they have in him. You just got Stephon Diggs. Like, that was the biggest bonehead decision to win that meaningless game that I could think of in a while.
Yeah, and obviously we have some boneheads in our chat here as well. Speaking of boneheads, Dan Clark says we got two Cowboys fans talking about the draft. What do they know? All right, whatever. All right, we know what's going on, but I do want to know. All right, so we keep up with the draft, fairly well. Like, I am not a draft expert. Like, when you talk about NBA, like, cool, I can hang my hat on there. I can dabble. The NFL is so many players, but in the top of the draft, do you have, like, any kind of player that just kind of strikes your fancy? Because, like, I like certain guys. I don't know enough about the trenches of the O lines, the D lines, but I just see some of these guys. You're like, man, that guy, it just screams he's going to be good in the NFL.
Ashton Jeanty. That to me, that is the guy. I know Dallas will never get him unless they trade up. I think Jacksonville and I actually have it wrote down. Jacksonville and Chicago are the two teams that I have ahead of us that I think will get him. I actually think Chicago over Jacksonville, because you have Caleb Williams. You've got the new head coach who's an offensive guy. I see him going to Chicago. That would be my pick, because I thought the same thing when Zeke came out. Thought the same thing when Bijan Robinson came out. There's some guys that just have that. They're going to be pretty good if you give them the right system.
Yeah, but in your system, though, like, do you have to have a good line already, like an O line? Like, does it need to be good? Because you're bringing in a guy that he could really get hurt in the first couple of years while you try to build that line to make him good. Like, does that worry you if you're going to get a running back like that?
A little. You look at Saquon, he stayed healthy this year because he had a good offensive line. He wasn't healthy a lot in New York because they had a terrible offensive line. So I do think that helps. I think Dallas's is okay. Like we've got a
Yeah.
lot of young guys, but even in Chicago, if you do get him, who's really going to be blocking for you? Because I saw Caleb Williams on his back quite a bit this season.
There's a lot that's going to be happening tonight with the draft. I know everybody's going to be watching that. Everybody's going to be watching the hockey playoffs, the NBA playoffs. There's a lot that's happening today, and it is a beautiful Thursday. But you know what they're doing? They're always watching the Weekday Wagers. Another thing you want to do, justastatsports.com, use the promo code BTT30. It will get you your first 30 days free. How many plays do you have up on the site already right now?
At least 6. I was working on I've got 2 games that I've capped, and I was working on another one as, some behind the scenes, something came up and I had to leave. So I'm hoping that I can still get those other 2 games capped and get some long shots out. 4 days straight, I've hit a plus 300 or better, and it was all posted on the site or my ex. So
listen, I did nothing there but just set you up and you crushed it. I had no idea how many plays you had or that you've been killing it like that. So, Robby, thank you for that. BTT30 over at justastatsports.com gives you your first 30 days free. All right, you're hot. Let's stay hot. Let's get you going with your play. What you got?
We're going Tomas Hertl. He plays for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's on the second line. The first line, I've been on them. They haven't done much. Jack Eichel and Mark Stone, you figured would factor in, but it's been the second line with Tomas Hertl leading the charge. He has, 3 games where he's got a point streak. He's got a 3-game point streak with 5 points total. And he's centering that line. He's centering the top power play line as well. He's got his line mate, Pavel Dorofeyev. That's another guy. If you go to this justastatsports.com, I have a little write-up on him as well. He's still only minus 120 to get a point. So I'm just going to ride the hot hand. Hopefully Vegas can figure it out tonight, because if not, they'll be looking down at Minnesota, and they may not make it out of the second round or first round.
Yeah, well, I know that Mark is kind of right in line with you today on the Just Stat Sports Play of the Day on Coaching Company, this show this morning. He had it paired. I think it was over 1.5 shots on goal paired with somebody else. And so I think it was a plus 140 or somewhere around there. Listen, I've done work since that time when we left the show. But so obviously both of you are on it. Little synergy. I like it. All right, good job, Robby. All right, let's go to my play here. And little synergy with myself, okay, because I did play the Thunder at minus 8.5 at minus 110 today on the show, but I still believe in the Thunder. Just like I believe in Joe Hendry, I believe in the Thunder. I think they go into the grindhouse today and they get a win. That seems to be the easy part. But in all honesty, this other one, Tyler Anderson, 2+ walks, might be the easiest play of the day. Okay, he's had on average 2.8 walks just this season in the 4 games he's had. He's had a game of 4, he's had a game of 3, and every game he's hit at least 2+ walks going against Pittsburgh. Okay, you're thinking, all right, the Pittsburgh Pirates good at baseball. Yes, they're actually decent at baseball, but they draw a lot of walks, and they are 9th in walks drawn this season. And so Tyler Anderson, very loosey-goosey with the old baseball. And so because of that, I think that he does rack up some walks today. And if you do like this, the 2+ walks and the Thunder money line at minus 108, you could also get Tyler Anderson 3+ walks at plus 155. And so why not? He's had it before. He's already done it 2 of the 4 games this year. So let's get a little crazy today. But is there anything else out there that you're looking at, Robby, that you're keeping your eye on? Because I know you said you're going to break down some other games. What games or what other sports or anything you're looking to target?
Well, it's definitely staying in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Winnipeg versus St. Louis. I talked about that game yesterday. It looks like Robert Thomas was just taking a maintenance day, so it wasn't anything serious. He plays tonight. St. Louis is back at home. They're down 2-0. Every game has been close, though. The goalies have basically been winning the games in that series. So I really want to have a lot on that game, but it's so tight. And I play point props. So when you have goalies playing as well as they are, that game may end 2-1. Well, if you play a lot of point props, you better hit the ones that you get right. So you may see some of those guys in point parlays later, but that's what I'm not really betting on, but I want to watch a lot of tonight.
Well, make sure, and that's why you tune in live, because to make sure you kind of get a little bit of the insight that we have. All right, some other insight that we have is we have this thing that we call the Daily Dinger. And You can't get into the saloon with hitting a daily dinger. Mark, I'm talking to you. But Mark has hit back-to-back days, Robby. So
He has.
as we move on and we look at our daily dinger, I expect one of us, we got to go and pick the right guy today. So Robby, go ahead, lead off, bomb. What you got today? Who you got?
It's funny you mentioned Tyler Anderson because that's where I'm going to go. I hope one of his pitches isn't a walk, and I hope Brian Reynolds crushes it at plus 525. He's got a pretty decent history against Anderson at 6 plate attempts or plate appearances with 4 hits and 1 home run. Anderson hasn't been terrible this year. I mean, he has kind of been loosey-goosey, as you said, but he likes the fastball, and that was one of the balls that Reynolds crushed and went yard on. So give me Brian Reynolds 1 home run plus 525.
All right. I will take your Brian Reynolds, and I'm going to go all the way to the top. And yes, I get it. This doesn't have the best odds, but you don't care if you hit a plus 375, whether it was the best highs, the high size, whatever it is. It's the odds that I'm going for, and that is Brent Rooker. And Robby, could I ask you a simple question? Do you know where Brent Rooker is from by any chance?
Sacramento. That's where they play.
Do you know where Brent Rooker went to high school at?
Sacramento?
He did not. He went to Memphis, Tennessee. He's a born and bred boy here in the Big M. And yes, Brent Rooker loves the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll be watching the Memphis Grizzlies probably after his game, even though it's probably on the same time. But still, Brent Rooker is going to clutch one up for me. That way I can stop all of this slander and all of this lollygagging, all of this, whatever Mark does, his jokes, his dad jokes, 101, whatever he's doing, we can stop that because that's the only thing we've heard. And I know you've heard the same thing, Robby. Yeah. It's all about Mark. Everybody's just whatever. I'm tired of it. Brent Rooker goes yard at plus 375 today.
Hey, I don't know if you guys have heard of a yesterday, but Tyler Soderstrom is also a good one, considering that's who I was on yesterday. Just something to think about because I've been notorious to pick the guy and he goes off the day after. So keep that in your back pocket.
All right. Well, make sure you stay tuned for those. But yeah, a little Sacramento athletics now. Both guys to the top. It doesn't make sense, but it'll make sense when they both go yard. We're both feeling happy. And then Mark's crying because he thought he was going to substitute you and be on the show. But you know what? You were able to get back. It was about 4 minutes before the show started that you were able to hop back on. And so we appreciate it. But anything else that you're looking at, any game that you're going to watch, anything going on tonight that people should keep their eye on?
Like I said, you're going to be watching the NFL draft. You're going to be waiting for your teams to check out the NHL playoffs. It is really fun this time of year. You're going to see a lot of chirps, a lot of fighting, a lot of tight hockey. And then also the NBA playoffs are going on right now. My Orlando Magic, unlucky enough, drew the Celtics. We're just happy to be there. I'm just going to accept our fate, even if Jason Tatum plays or not. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have the draft on my phone, but I'm going to have the hockey on the big screen.
Yeah, I will obviously be watching the Grizzlies, and they will be getting beat by the Thunder. I promise you that. But one guy, he could not let the day pass by. So I'll go ahead and put it up here just because he's went back-to-back jacks. Better days ahead. Mark, Wyatt Langford at plus 475. He faces JT Ginn, not the drink, 3 times, 1 hit, 1 walk, seeing the ball well. The wind's blowing out. Sounds great to me. All right, so Mark's going Wyatt Langford in that same game. I am going to go.
Florida Gator, by the way. I like that pick.
There we go. All right. That's all we have today on the show. It's been a glorious time. Hopefully the Cowboys don't F it up and they pick somebody good and we're not just crying into our beers, very similar to what I'll be tonight when the Grizzlies get beat. But we'll see you all tomorrow. Don't forget, weekend wagers on Friday, same time. Don't miss it. We'll see you then.